Legend here, and today we've got a rating your Doomstack video, where I gotta say, what the hell is this army? So playing as the Fecundites, we've got Festus here, and he's got 4 different allied units from you wouldn't expect these factions to give them an allied unit, but anyway, we got an Elemental Bear from Kislev, right? So he managed to get an alliance with Kislev, with the Great Orthodoxy somehow. He got a Ragnarok Spider from the Black Pit tribe. He got a Frostheart Phoenix from Teclis, and he scored a Cygor from Warherd of the One Eye, and then the rest of his factional troops, because you can only put 4 allied troops in here. So, that is just really, really weird. But anyway, let's just jump in here and see how it performs. It's got 3 armies to deal with here. Auto Resolve says it's victory, so it's very strong in Auto Resolve. But, like, I'm dumbfounded as to, like, I got to admire the effort required to, like, get those alliances. Warriors of Chaos are a absolutely hated faction. To get alliances with Kislev and High Elves would have been extremely painful to do. The other 2, I could imagine that wouldn't be too much trouble, especially the Beastmen. Beastmen are fairly friendly towards Warriors of Chaos. Greenskins, go either way. But yeah, he's got just a... It doesn't look like a Doomstack, because it's not like a 1 unit spam, and... yeah, it's not a conventional Doomstack. That doesn't mean it's bad. But I guess the problem that I'm having here is wondering how to use it. Because he had no instructions. Let me just actually check the email. Yeah, there's no instructions on how to use it in the email. It's just throw a bunch of monsters into an army and see how it goes. Which that is not a good way to build an army. But let's just see how it goes. It might surprise me. But yeah, I think the biggest problem that I'm going to have here is just I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, I just don't know what to do with it. Like, the Elemental Bear doesn't complement our army at all. Ragnarok Spider doesn't complement our army at all. Frostheart Phoenix, that one's okay because it's got a debuff aura of effect. So that's actually pretty good. You know, reducing everyone's melee attack, or all the enemy's melee attack, weapon strength, armor piercing, weapon strength. That's quite handy, especially for Nurgle. So that might make sense. As for the Cygor, I guess you could use it as artillery, popping in the middle there. And these ones here. Right, so these aspiring champions have Locus of Fecundity. Right, okay. So use them for healing. So yeah, I understand the thought of the Frostheart Phoenix, but as for the other ones, I just don't get them. I just don't see how they complement the army apart from just different unit. But let's just see how we go. Alright, okay. Because yeah, the thing is, when you get an allied unit, you can't boost it with technologies and lord skills most of the time. There are some small exceptions. The big thing here with Festus is that he'll be able to heal everyone in an area of effect. Or we could use him as a Mortis engine. We should definitely keep our army together, especially because of the Frostheart Phoenix. We need to make use of that. Actually, just put it on the ground. Actually, no. Put up in the air, and we'll use it to lure this guy down into the ground. Very strong in Auto Resolve. It's very hard battle difficulty, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's got plenty of healing in the army. That's good. This Fire Wizard is fine. Okay, let's use an army ability to get rid of these artillery here. I think with the Elemental Bear, it's kind of just like bragging rights for him. it doesn't actually make the army any stronger. It's just like, look, I got an alliance with Kislev. That's actually very impressive, because that would have taken a lot of work or a lot of bribes to do that. But the unit itself in this army, I don't see the point of it at all. Same sort of thing with the Arachnarok Spider. Okay, Cygor, let's get to shooting. Don't really want to charge uphill. The thing is with having like one artillery piece, if you're going up against an enemy with superior artillery, it kind of makes this sort of like, what's the point? But we'll just see how we go. Yeah, I think we should just throw it all into melee. Into a big blob and we'll just see what happens. Because I can get loads of healing in. There's a lot in here that gravitates towards blob because of the area effect debuff and the area effect healing. It would be a lot more durable. And also the enemy forces here don't have a lot of missile units, so we're not going to be that vulnerable to it. Also, these guys, they don't have many bounce spells yet, because we're not playing as Nurgle, we're playing as Warriors of Chaos. I don't think they get all those bounce spells. Only the Monogod factions get them. So yep, just keep them all under control. How's that physical resistance going? I guess maybe that's the thing, he's providing physical resistance to like the entire army. So we're getting units that wouldn't normally... So Elemental Bandit's got 48% physical resistance. That actually might be higher than what Kislev can normally get it to. And they've got a lot of stuff that boosts their physical resistance. Yeah, we're not really vulnerable to this spell here. Even if it backfires on us, it's just not going to really hurt us that much. Same thing with the Twirly Whirlies. The Spinning Loons just won't hit us. Whoop. Game's struggling a little bit. And we got this one over here. Not taking too much damage. The Elemental Bear seems to be taking the most. Got that. So yeah, that's the big thing here. We get into a blob, it might seem stupid, but then the enemy get into a blob, and it just allows us to use magic to rip them to shreds. Shouldn't rely on them too much. The wizards, that is. Just sort of getting a feel for it. I don't think we need to worry about this one here. It's just not doing that much damage, and we're healing at a reasonable pace. If I really need to, I can heal a bit faster. But yeah, that one's getting healed. Right, so you've got 6 gifted units and 4 allied units as well. Right. So, yeah, you can't get a spam of Great Unclean Ones as the Fecundites. Yeah. That's it. Make sure we stay together so that all of these ones here getting debuffed by the Phoenix. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Blizzard Aura. I gotta admit, it's doing pretty well. Like, we haven't taken a single casualty. We're not really damaged at all. One army's pretty much been obliterated already. And they've only cast a handful of spells. Well, they're doing damage to themselves with the spinning loons there. Oh yeah, I've also got this. I haven't been using it. I didn't really need to. It's doing really well. Yeah, I think they're trying to shoot at the Chaos Shrine. That's pretty typical. Same thing with the Cygor, it's getting shot up a fair bit, but it's healing. That's one thing the Beastman can't do for a Cygor. But the Cygor's not exactly pulling its weight. Yeah, they're focusing on this one a bit too much, and this one. Okay, we're gonna need a fleshy abundance. I think we should get the Cygor out of there. So I'd say probably the Cygor is not a good choice for this army, unless you really want an artillery piece. You got enough siege attackers, so that's not the reason why it's in there. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this one out of here and just get it off the battlefield. Because pretty soon it's gonna run out of heal cap and start getting killed. So I'm gonna pull it out before that happens. Everyone else is doing just fine. The Elemental Bear's racking up a lot of kills. I didn't even bother using this. It does have the Soul Eater ability, miscast chance plus 50%, but I don't think that's a very big deal. How many more reinforcements still to come? Still quite a bit with some giants coming in as well.
My magic is ready.
Just also thinking, what are some other choices you could have done instead of the Cygor from other rosters? Probably the Rogue Idol might have been a better choice instead of the Arachnarok Spider. Of course, they've got to have availability for that, which that'll take longer. Yeah, I don't know. Just thinking if there's something out there with like a good debuff. Nothing comes to mind right at the moment. I'm sure there is something. I don't think you get like a fire, lava, or Ragnarok, because that'd be good for the Mortis Engine effect. But yeah, I don't think you can get them because they're not recruitable. You have to get them through war missions, and they're not going to give you one of those. Yeah, maybe best to keep the Cygor back actually, and just fire from here. Keeping it in the blob was maybe a mistake. But yeah, the Frostheart Phoenix, this makes sense. So that's a good choice. The Elemental Bear is actually doing a good job, so that's fine. This one here got a good number of kills, so I guess that's alright. But yeah, I think the Cygor is the one that I disagree with the most. Well, now it's getting some decent kills. Yeah, they're not great in melee. You really should be using them as artillery pieces. But I didn't want to advance everyone else in there, and then they send a kill squad over here to get rid of the Cygor, which they seem to be ignoring at the moment anyway. Oh no, I lost a Dragon Ogre. Took a casualty. Well, that means this army is garbage then. Just kidding. No, come on guys, you gotta stay together. Gotta get them buffs and debuffs all together. Great big monster blob. Maybe like a corn blood throne would be good. Blood shrine. That could work. Because that regenerates on its own. It's fairly small, so the AI might not target it. And provides a pretty hefty melee attack boost, which for Nurgle would be fairly good, since its melee attack, a lot of the time, is not really that high. So I think that would have been a better choice. A Corn Blood Throne from Scarbrand. Or you could get a Grail Relic from Bretonia and get extra leadership. No, I'm just kidding. Grail Relics are rubbish. Close in. So yeah, I try not to cast too many spells in this. Just every now and again is fine. But I didn't want to win the battle off the back of magic, since that's not what this build is about. I mean, this is 3 full stacks that we're going up against here. And we've barely taken any damage whatsoever. I mean, this is hugely impractical. But it's very strong. Way stronger than I thought it was going to be at initial thoughts. It's just all that physical resistance, I think, that's doing it. So maybe if you went up against something with a lot more magic attack, this would struggle maybe a little bit more, but it's not like we've got 90% physical resistance. Although some of these ones are really high. Right, the War Shrine here that's providing physical resistance, and quite a lot of it as well. Where is it? Yeah, Giver of Glory here. So once you've racked up enough kills, extra 20% physical resistance in this blob. That's why, yeah, you absolutely want to be getting into a blob, especially if you're fighting physical weapons. 65% physical resistance on the elemental bears. And there's the army losses. Cool, I didn't even feel the need to use the bounce spells. Good if I want. Really, really strong. And I gotta appreciate the fact that it isn't just a 1 unit spam, there's actually some creativity towards this. But yeah, I definitely don't agree with the Cygor being in the army. I'm sure that he's got a plan for it, but I just can't really see it. I think that a Corn Blood Throne would have been better. Just thinking if there is even a better choice. And it's very strong in auto resolve as well, so that's good. Just to sort of cut back on endgame grind by auto-resolving trivial battles is good. Because sometimes Doomstacks can be not great in auto-resolve, depending on the Doomstack. And therefore you end up kind of getting campaign fatigue by having to fight loads and loads of trivial battles. An example of that is actually like the War Sled Doomstack from Kislev. It's really good on the battlefield, but it's terrible in auto-resolve. So you have to fight pretty much every single battle manually when you use it. So it just depends on whether or not you want to do that. Because campaign fatigue is a big issue with Total War 1 3. A lot of people do can their campaigns, and myself included, very early on. And so you need to find a way to get through your campaign without getting too fatigued. And I think battle after battle after battle of trivial fights can really weigh you down. Alright, let's have a look and see what's going on with this, because this is very intriguing. What's he doing for the entire army there? I think that the Chaos War Shrine is a very good choice, unless we're going up against something with a lot of missile attack. Yeah, they tried attacking this, they couldn't do it, now they're going for some undefended crap. Oh wow, okay. What the? No, it's not very hard battle difficulty. Maybe it's just because they were damaged. Made them perform really badly in auto-resolve. But yeah, when I first saw this army, I wasn't really too excited about it, but that really performed very well. Just gotta watch out for magical attacks. That's the only thing I could really worry about it. Especially if it's magical missiles.
Wondrous contain.
Like if you went up against assisted of Avalon spam, that'd be a nightmare. Same thing as if you go up against Wood Elves with Swift Shiver Shards. Look at this! Allied to Wood Elves as well. What is going on here? Oh, vassals. Oh my god, that's how we did it. Actually, not that difficult playing as Warriors of Chaos. You can vassalize anyone. Right. I don't know why I didn't think about that. Durr. Right, yeah, he made so many people a vassal. That's what he did. Okay, alright, that makes it a little bit more viable then. Because I thought he would have gone to like extreme lengths to try to get an alliance. I didn't even think about making them a vassal, because all these guys are... I guess whenever I play Warriors of Chaos, I don't really rely too heavily on non-Chaos aligned factions as vassals, and I sometimes just get rid of them. So yeah, he vassalized them, and that's what happened. Right. Yeah, so that's what he did there as well. Right. Yeah, okay, so rating this. In terms of practicality, I think this is actually quite practical for the late game sort of stuff. I mean, finding a higher faction to vassalize isn't too hard. You just go over to Ulf one. The fact they did it with Teclis seems a bit weird. Let me just have a look here with Festus. Is he doing anything to provide physical resistance? What's going on here? Nurgle's Rot. So that's what's happening there. Now, where did we get that from? Okay, we just got it from the Plague Cauldron. Right. I just wasn't sure if Festus had that one, so that's where they got so much physical resistance from. So it wasn't necessarily Festus, it was just, it was the faction mechanic of the Plagues. Fair enough. Right. Okay, so in terms of practicality, the biggest downside here is that you got to go a fair distance to find these factions to vassalize, and then you got to wait for them to develop their cities large enough to recruit these units. So it will take a while. You're not going to be able to get this in the early stages of the game. So in practicality, it's I don't know. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. Getting a whole bunch of great unclean ones isn't too difficult, I suppose, because of the gifts of Nurgle. Once you, you know, get down to here and you're getting one of these every 4 turns, that's not completely hopeless to do. Aspiring champions are not difficult to get. Dragon ogres are... You just gotta go and find them. They're usually in the mountains. Or another thing that you can do, I believe, if you build... I'm not entirely sure, actually. Yeah, I think you need to go hunting out in the mountains for dragon ogres. Yeah. I'm not sure, actually. Is there not a certain building that generates them? No, I don't think there is. So yeah, up in the mountains you'll find them. Is there any of them there? No. You can usually find them in like the mountains over here. Yeah, see, there's dragon ogres. Yeah, they're just in the mountains. So yeah, practicality, it's really hard to rate this one because it's such a weird army. In terms of strength, it was stupidly strong. So top marks for that. It was really, really good. I think we went up against an enemy that we were particularly good against. So curious to see how it would go up against something that had like all magic attacks. So if you went up against a Black Ark captain, that could prove a little bit of trouble, but those are a little bit rare. Unless you're going up against a demonic faction, which as a Warriors of Chaos faction, you could always just avoid doing that, so it's not really that huge of a concern. Most of the time you will be fighting mortals, which don't have a huge array of magical attacks, so that's fine. Ease of use, pretty easy to use. Definitely would be easier if you just take the Cygor out of the army. I just don't really agree with that choice. In terms of this bonus here, I don't think that's a big deal. I think it would be way better to get a a blood throne from, or blood shrine from Khorne for the extra melee attack. Because I do like those units. It's only a small bonus to melee attack, but it is something. And if you can get these allied units that provide a whole bunch of buffs and debuffs, that could be really useful. I'm just trying to think if there's anything that provides even more physical resistance in an area, but I can't think of them off the top of my head. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if you can think of a better choice for an alliance army here. But I appreciate as well the effort that went into this, and it is very interesting, so I gotta give them credit for that. But it's a good Doom stack for sure. It would be difficult to build it, that's all. But yeah, that's the end of this one here, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this. Big thanks to this guy for sending it in. It's a very interesting Doom stack. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We're trying to hit to 455,000 subscribers by the end of the year so that we can do a This is Total War campaign stream. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.